And you're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. The Autumn Nation Series, ladies and gentlemen, that is what we are here to watch. It has begun. We've got Scotland versus Australia, the first clash of what will be a 5-week extravaganza. And I absolutely love the end of year tour. There's so many cool different little trophies on offer. You know, we've got the full bands out there, reading out all the stops. I'll give it to the Europeans and the Six Nations sides. They do make a test match a pretty big occasion. And yeah, this should be quite a cool match. Jamie Ritchie up against James Slipper. The two captains of today's side. We're going to go through the side. Quite a big, quite a few changes for both sides. And a very exciting player potentially coming off the bench for Australia in Gleeson, who has been replaced Pete Samu, who's been ruled out recently. We'll go through the sides during the national anthems. But for now, we're going to get a poll out. Who will win this clash? Scotland or Australia? Yeah, they come. We are in Murrayfield, a packed out Murrayfield, and it's the start of what's going to be a very interesting tour for Australia. They are playing against 5 of the Six Nations sides. So yeah, it's going to be a big one for them. And if we look at the side, so it's a big moment for Jamie Ritchie. First time he's ever let Scotland out and will captain the side. If we look at this two side, we'll start with the Scottish side. It is Piers Kuman, Dave Cherry, Xander Ferguson in the front row. Sam Skinner, Grant Gilchrist providing the backup in the second row. We've then got Jamie Ritchie, a captain, Hamish Watson, Matt Ferguson, a very nice loose trio. Ali Price, King Blake Kingwall, the halfback pairing, Johan van der Merwe, Darcy Graham, Ollie Smith, your back three for Scotland, Mark Bennett and Sione Tupelotu in the centres. Off the bench, George Turner, Jamie Batty and Via Pierre-Nel. Then Glenn Young, Jack Dempsey, George Horn, Ross Thompson, and Damien Hoyland. If we look at the Australians, James Slipper captains the side. Next to David Parecki and Alan Alalatoa. Nick Frost and Catherine Neville in the second row. Pretty big second rowers there. Jed Holloway, Michael Hooper, Rob Valentini. What an exciting Lucia it is. And so much experience with Michael Hooper returning to the side. Tate McDermott is partnering Bernard Foley, who infamously got penalised for time wasting during the Rugby Championship, something that's become quite a contentious issue. We then got Tom Wright, Hunter Basami, Lenny Guitar, Andrew Kellaway, and Tom Banks as the rest of the Aussie backline. Flafa Ingle off the bench, Matt Given, Tanita Tupou, and all 135 kgs of the loose head coming off the bench, tighted rather. You then got Ned Hannigan. Gleeson has replaced Pete Samu, Nick White, Noel Alessio, and Jock Campbell off the bench for the Australians. Australian national anthem coming underway. We're followed by a Scottish national anthem. I gotta get myself over there to an end of year tour, people. Oh, Flower of Scotland. Such a cool anthem. I love the anthems in the Northern Hemisphere. It's like the best part about some of these games, to be honest. It's very much a bucket list thing for me, is to go listen to, you know, God Save the King at Twickenham and listen to Flower of Scotland at Murrayfield. Go and listen to, you know, go and watch a game at the Millennium. Go watch a game at the Aviva Stadium. It's so many cool experiences that are out there for me to experience one day. But until then, we'll have to watch it from here in South Africa. Reminder, if you're trying to watch the match, check out the description. You can go and get yourself an Amazon Prime trial. And if you use ExpressVPN, you will be able to watch the match live and in HD on Amazon Prime. Which is quite cool, obviously. So, yeah, it's pretty easy to watch the Autumn Nation series. So there's actually no excuse not to be able to watch it. So the instructions are in the comments. I'm not sure if it's saying the Flower of Scotland is my personal Northern Hemisphere favorite. Yeah, it's up there. And massive moment there for Jamie Ritchie, and it's a very nice trophy that they're playing for as well. And I think very cool that they've now finally like actually made this like end of year tour like a series in inverted commas. You know, the fact that they've gone and like given it a name, there's branding. You know, it's it's got a bit more sort of it's like a whole series together. That makes sense. Almost like a tournament vibe, where it's not just like these individual teams going across. It does feel like there's an overall sort of overarching, um, feel to the tournament. And I think that's quite nice because at the moment, I think the end of year tour, I don't think it lost the sparkle so much, but it always just kind of felt like a bunch of friendlies. Where I think now you make it the Autumn Nation series, it feels like you're playing for something, even though there isn't an Autumn Nation series cup, for example. Um, that there is something a bit more than just playing a couple of friendlies. I mean, not that there's ever a friendly test match, but because they aren't like it's like a 3-match series, and you're trying to win a series, you're just playing individual games. It's quite nice to try and make it a bit more sort of formalized. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. I don't know. What do you guys think? I quite like it. I think it's quite cool, and I think the fact that Amos is getting involved is also very cool. Um, So you can go. So by the way, we are giving away free bets. By the way, if you'd like to win a free bet, a big shout out to our betting partner, Betcoza. You can go to this link and go and give your score predictions. And the person with the best score prediction, or the first score prediction, will win a 100 Rand free bet. The person with the next best, well, actually, we'll just do a free. We'll just basically do a lucky draw for a 50 Rand free bet. Luke Pearson with the man in the whistle. I really enjoy Luke Pierce. So a good referee there to have. Now we've got a bit of a countdown. Scott will play right to left. Blair Kinghorn with ball in hand. Big loss for me. Not having Finn Russell around there. And no Stuart Hogg as well. And this game is outside the test window. So not available. But yeah, we have got kickoff. We have got kickoff. And it's an early touch for, I think it looks like Lane Ikatal. Hunter Pasami, who takes that into contact. So the Automation Series is officially underway, ladies and gentlemen. Why is my timer not working? That's interesting. Need to get that going. Scoreboard. There it is. There's the timer. Anyway, sorry. Let's focus on the match now. I've got everything sorted. First carry for Pierre Skuman. Nice big physical South African born prop. So Rob Belty trying very hard to try and carry up, but more comes available. Ali Price goes to the boot. Bernard Foley underneath it. Returns the favour. Expect to see a lot of kicking, although I do think that conditions in this alternation series will be a bit different to what we've seen in the past. Ollie Smith, they try spotting a bit of space in behind. And they kind of bounce, and I think that Tom Banks could be in a bit of pressure there. But Tom Wright now, Australia looks to keep the ball in hand. And Kellaway, dabs it ahead. And Blair King under a lot of pressure, getting that pass away. It's got straight through the hands, though, of Darcy Graham. Backwards is the call. Darcy Graham under a little bit of pressure. Good offload, though, to Hamish Watson. Hamish Watson needs to find a bit of support. A lot of Australian players around there. It does come in the form of Dave Cherry. The ball is available for Ali Price. Goes back to Jamie Ritchie's captain now, Blair Kinghorn. Bringing in Bennett. It's a good tackle, and Bennett coming from his opposite number. Ali Price now to Ferguson. That's Matt Ferguson as opposed to Xander, who's got a scrum cap on and the tight head. Now Jamie Ritchie puts his head down. Have to use it now. Ali Price bringing it to the back. Goes to the boot. Lifts it high in the air. Hasn't gone particularly far, so be contestable. Jump and over is lurking. It lands the Australian side. And basically to Foley. A long pass out from Foley towards Tom Wright. Now towards the side. Michael Hooper, his first carry back in international rugby. The first time in about 4 months after he left. Took a bit of a break for his mental health. Oh, but Tate McDermott has burst straight through the middle. Needs a bit of support to Tate McDermott. He puts it to the boot. Oh, he's been taken out. Darcy Graham's going to come and dot the ball down. Luke Pearce doesn't want to have anything to do with it. Tate McDermott reckons he was brought out. Actually, not playing too much. Very, very nice little break there from McDermott. Shaped pass to James Slipper, then just slipped straight through. McDermott hasn't played too much this year, so he needs to seize the opportunity. That's what Tate McDermott does offer you. He's a very slippery character. Right, restart there. Goes to Banks. Now Valentini. Big hit on Grant Gilchrist. He comes through, but there's available for McDermott, though. Gives it to Slipper at first receiver. McDermott wrapping around. Bringing in Foley. Inside ball to Kellaway. It's a very nice little move there from Australia. But Richie's over very well and will win a penalty for his side. That's brilliantly done by Richie. A lot of pressure. Also, by the way, interesting to see the names on the back of the shirts for Scotland. Scotland and England will be putting the names on the back of their shirts. I think it's actually Ferguson who managed to get over. But a really nice little move there from Australia. Early warning signs to the Scottish defence that they do have something in their locker. Not Card saying, hey Steve, hope your weekend gets better after the Lions. Can't wait for next weekend when the world champions face the #1 ranked Ireland. Going to be a crack of a game, 100%. We've yet to really see a Russell and Khalan 10-15 playmaking machine at Racing. Going to be exciting to see how these two play together when Khalan finally gets a bloody chance to play. Yeah, I'm very keen to see what's going to go on there. Very nice little move there. Nice inside ball to Kellaway. It's a good tackle in the end about Darcy Graham, and then Richie straight over the top, assisted by Sam Skinner. Very strong position, winning the penalty. Dave Cherry's first line is good. Goes to Sam Skinner. Looking for the rolling more, yeah, but so far being driven back by Australia. It's pretty stopped here now. Once is the call. Trying to move forward here are the Scottish players. Eddie Price comes to try and find the ball. I think this is going to be turnover ball, though. Very surprised if we managed to get this ball out, and I think Luke Pearce is going to have a look. It is a turnover ball. Very well defended by Australia in the first 5 minutes, and we will have our first scrum of the day, which Pierce Kuhlman, amongst others, will be frothing for. Get the free kick from the scrum there. Do Australia take it quickly here. Looking to really up the tempo here, Australia. Now Bernard Foley goes to the boot. High in there. Kellaway is chasing. It will be a good tester there for Smith, and he's pulled it forward to Tom Banks. Go straight, and they're looking to use the width of the field here. Right, getting involved. Long pass out to Basami. It does find Jed Holloway. That's a fantastic offload to Michael Hooper. Michael Hooper down the wing. Australia just short. Within 5 meters. Grant Crooks has to release there. This is available for Australia. McDermott goes to Alala Toa. Now pick up and go. Looks like it's on James Slipper. What a turnover from Pierce Kuhlman. And he almost looked at the ref like a guilty schoolboy. But he got shirt over there, managed to get his hands on the ball. It's brilliantly done. So the breakdown work doing the business so far. So far, it's very much been one-way traffic. Dave Cherry's going to go to his captain, Richie, but it's a stolen ball. And Hooper under a lot of pressure popping up to take McDermott. McDermott sniping around. McDermott's full of running. He's eventually brought... No, King actually missed the tackle. He's actually brought down by his own player, is McDermott eventually. Valentini picks up and goes. Scottish defence a little bit more wiser to that. But so far, Scotland really poor in the execution. Kind of hanging on here. It's been one-way traffic and it's been in favour of the men in yellow. Oh, and it's going to go forward. That's really poor. Pasami straight to Kellaway, and the ball just ricochets off his chest back to Pasami, who was in front of him, and so it's a forward pass. Right, so we have another scrum here. Big scrum coming in there. Will be a reset. No, it's a penalty, actually. It's a penalty. I think the calls come from the side here. It's a penalty for Scotland. So a bit of relief from the home side. Scott's getting the benefit of the doubt at that penalty. Big line and Tupolochi almost getting through there. This is a lot better from Scotland. Pierre Schoeman now puts his head down. It's a big tackle made on him by his opposite. Oh, sorry, it's actually Pareki who makes the tackle there. Tupolochi, it's good handling, good handling. Ollie Smith, the inside. Oh, and he decides to take it himself. What a try. What an individual moment. And that is absolutely brilliant. It was the hands that were so good. The hands there were tremendous. And Ollie Smith measures up one, measures up two. He could have offloaded, but he was like, stuff this. I've done all the hard work. And it's the first try at Murrayfield for Ollie Smith. What a try it is, by the way. Bang on the inside. Just, you know what, I can give it to Duan. He can have a try, but, you know, I've done the hard work, lads, here. So, I'm going to take the honours. Now, King Orn played a big part in that try. Yeah, just talking about the whole fly half issue, saying that Gregor Townsend saying that the formers determine the fly. There's definitely a big issue, and it's a poor kick there from King Orn. There's definitely a big issue between Finn Russell. Well, we know there's an issue between Finn Russell and Gregor Townsend, and it's sad because Finn Russell is a very special player, and to not have him in the Scottish side does make them a worse side, unfortunately. At the end of the day, I mean, he's like as the commentator was saying, they're talking about the fact that there's been picked on Merritt, and yet Ross Thompson, who's played 20 minutes of all season, has been picked ahead of Finn Russell, who's doing the business over in the top 14 for Racing. So, but what can you do, What can you do? But anyway, it's the perfect start for Scotland. They go 5-0 up. It was a very nice new work to try as well. And it's a good restart here, so they will have a chance to exit here with Scotland. Very underrated element of the game, actually, is receiving the kickoff and making sure that you can sort of reset, really. I mean, you mess with the kickoff, you can see a penalty, and all of a sudden you kind of like halve the advantage that you actually carved out. Now Australia back on the chart. It's a very good carry there by Rob Valentini. And they're going to take the points here straight off on the penalty. So I'm just showing out a few things on my side. Right, so looking to try and bring the deficit down. Probably the right idea. Under a lot of pressure are Scotland and Australia. I mean, Australia, despite all their dominance, yet to score points. So probably it's a good idea for them just to go get it ticking. Right, Bernard Foley. Right, and the kick is good from Bernard Foley. So 5 points to 3. Big restart there, and a good take there from Australia. That's a very good exit. That's kind of more what you want. You know, straight down the throat. It's taking a bit of time. Find a good clearance, reset, go again. You know, you make a butcher of you butcher the kickoff, and all of a sudden you're on the back foot immediately. Good line out there as well. Flat to Hamish Watson. The mish. Surviving his clash with Rod Fenter earlier this season. That's a good defense there by Australia. Back on the halfway line, Addy Price digging for the ball. Goes to Xander Ferguson. And now not too much on for Scotland, so Addy Price will go to the boot. While taking my time right into contact, Australia with possession just outside the 22. Oh, that's not a great kick by at all from Hardy Smith there, but not thoroughly picking it up. Banks trying to find a bit of space. We're quickly closed by Richie and Gilchrist. Tate McDermott going to Bernard Foley, a bit of space in between. Tries the kick, but it comes off a Scottish player and will run out. And another knock on. It's a bit of a messy game here so far. Not too much rhythm to it, but hopefully that's all settle in. It is the first time that these are playing in a while. Scotland haven't played a game since, what, July? Penalty advantage there for Scotland. Nobody really seems to want to take this ball out the air, by the way. Like, there's a couple of up and unders now. They're lifted high in the air, and everybody's sort of backing off from it, which is a bit odd. Take it in the air. Penalty for Australia. And Ella down receiving a bit of treatment, which is not ideal for Australia at all. Although in Tupou, they've got a pretty good replacement. But the impact of Tupou coming on the second half is so big, you don't want to send out too early. Now Australia going. A bit of a messy lineup, but Jed Holloway does the job. Michael Hooper turns. Takes it well. Now Tate McDermott going down the side there. Back to Jed Holloway, the man who took it from the line out. McDermott looked at quite a lot of speed, but it's a very good take on the ground there from Alalato. It wasn't the best pass from Tate McDermott. Slow ball here for Australia. Big counter coming in from Jamie Ritchie. Very slow ball here. Oh, almost a bit of a poor pass there coming from right. Australia are keeping it. Ballatini now looking to get on the front foot here. Very good ball carrier is Ballatini. The ball comes loose. McDermott pops it up to Bernard Foley. Bernard Foley's going to have to take it into contact. And that's brilliantly won at the ground. And it's Jamie Ritchie. Now they've got numbers here to Scotland if they want to use it. It's a nice solid carry there by Ollie Smith. Started this game pretty brightly with ball in hand. Callaway taking on the air is what he's saying, but backwards off Australia. Tate McDermott comes away with it. So a penalty for Australia. Foley will kick this towards touch, and after 22 minutes, just the 8 points. Scotland still leading. We had almost 47 votes up poll. I'm actually going to end the poll. I'm going to end the poll. So 47 votes, 55% of people have backed Scotland to win. I actually also backed Scotland to do the business, to be fair. I am all in on Scotland in this game. I would like to see them go and win. Although justice for Finn Russell. Justice for Finn Russell. Good variation. Michael Hooper bringing in Valentini off the line out. Valentini running it to Hamish Watson. Ball comes a bit loose there. And Sam Skinner has picked it up off the ground. Turnover ball to Scotland. Ali Price is going to take it pretty quickly. He looks for a bit of distance as he knows Australia are retreating. And that's going to run out. Bernard just keeping it in. It was a brilliant kick from Ali Price. Bernard pointing in the air. Does lift it high into the air. And will go out into touch. So it will be a line out for Scotland. So I thought it initially did very well to keep it in. Because it was a fantastic kick by Ali Price. But then kicking it out into touch just nullifies all of that. Because now it's a Scottish line out. Dave Cherry bringing in Ali Price. Ali Price running very direct. 2-1 in front of Merva being brought in. But it was a good tackle there by Lane Ikatal. A couple of Australian players have gone over the top. I'm not sure they're allowed to play that. Yeah, I'm about to say it has to be. And another penalty. So I think this will be big kick for Scotland. Yeah, I think you'll be stupid not to take the points here. They're going to the corner here. Pretty ballsy from Scotland to actually to have a go. That was very kickable. And I mean it's test match rugby, so I mean you got to think why wouldn't you go for the polls there? But what can you do, eh? They're backing themselves. They're backing themselves. Lenyan takes it on the park. Chipolota, it's a very nice carry from him. Scotland on the front foot here. Dave Cherry pick up and go. Ferguson there. Ali Price going to Pierre Skuman. Getting past the 5-meter line. They're within 5 meters of the try line here. Patience needed. Now Xander getting a few meters. Just short here, Scotland. Advantage as well. Now a bit of a 3-roll of the dice. Ball over the top. Oh, Timolotto spilt it. Oh, my living. How has he done that? How has he done that? Can't take it quickly. Still going here. Pick up and go here now from Xander Ferguson. Just short. This is looking very promising here for Scotland. Oi, I'd like it to cut this way. Can they convert? Can they convert? So many phases here. They're agonizingly short. PS Crew pick up and go. Hamish Watson now. Now Jamie Ritchie working hard. But so far Australian defence is holding quite firm. No advantage on anything at the moment. Screw asking for a carrier there. He's going to go himself. Have they found ground here? No, it's been held up. That's very poor. I don't know who that was, but that's just impatient, to be honest. I think it's Sam Skinner. It was Young. He's on the park. Just didn't have the patience, decided to go himself. Thought he saw an opening, and he's unfortunately just turned possession over. And I think if they just kept grinding it down, I think they would have gone over there. Deep kick now to Ali Price. Ali Price bringing in Darcy Graham. Darcy Graham going away to Matt Ferguson. Big collision by them, but Michael Hooper's all over that ball, but does miss it. Ali Price wanted to go down the right. On too many options. Tupolatu looking for a couple more players to bring in. Harley Smith, he's been very lively so far. King on now. Not too many options, so goes himself. Glenn Young. A lot of carry so far for Glenn Young. He's been only in the park for a couple of minutes. Pierre Schumann, is that not jumping into a tackle? That's what Jay Slipper's asking. King on going to Tupolatu. Tupolatu going to... Sorry, just... and there has been a call. There's been a call jumping into the tackle. It has been looked at by the TMO. Yeah, it looked very... Yeah, you can't do that. That should be a yellow card, you know. It's bizarre. It's just go off your feet in that fashion. So pretty poor penalty to concede from Pierre Schumann, and he's given possession straight back to Australia. And Bernard Foley has found a very nice touch finder, putting inside onto the 10-meter line in Scottish to Scotland half. Oh, you have a water break. I hate these water breaks. Hate them. Hate them with a passion. Looking at the try again. Such good work by Smith. There's a nice line being run inside of Dermot, inside of Wright. Fantastic try being scored by Smith. Bang. Sits him down. Bang. Sits him down again. Goes over. Fantastic try. For a first try at Murrayfield, that's not bad. That's not a bad one at all. Gregor Townsend under quite a lot of pressure with dropping Finn Russell. A lot of people not backing that decision. I don't back that decision, to be fair. Right, Parecki goes to Neville, who becomes with the back, bringing in Tate McDermott. Dermott just chipping it over the top. It's going to land. Jonathan Mervis doing well there. He's been wrapped up though, and they're going to go back. And it's a penalty against Scotland at the line. I'm not quite sure what they've done. We're running more. Yeah, looking pretty good. Parecki is controlling things at the back. And it's penalty advantage. And surely we're going to have to... yeah, looking pretty good, yeah. I'm surprised that no one's going to go to the bin here because I was pretty cynical. I think they were going on their way to score a try. I'm not convinced. The part of the players, the ball's not there because he's been legally been detached. Well, we're looking pretty good at the moment, but well defended this time by Scotland. No penalty advantage. But Basami going short. McDermott desperately trying to get that ball out, and a lot of pressure. Michael Hooper defended well so far. McDermott searching for the ball. A slow ball. And Neville now. Now to Alatoa. Dave Cherry's got his hands all over that. He's going to win a penalty here. No, he missed it. Valentini wasn't the best passer from McDermott, but does manage to hang on. McDermott now going to Pasami. Pasami looking to bring in Ikitaba, going himself. But the ball comes out loose. And Grant Gilchrist has dove all over that. So turnover ball for Scotland. And Australia, despite looking very threatening, just not able to maintain their composure and find any points here. Andy Price will hack this downfield. He does find touch. Very nice touch finder. Right. Sorry, Kenaway goes inside to right. Goes to Pasami. Pasami. Pick over the top here. Who's got the pace here? Kellaway's lurking. But Ollie Smith comes away across him. Does very well to defend that. And a lot of pressure here are Scotland. But players are coming back. And the ball is available for Ali Price. Now he's lost for a couple of blockers. He's trying to find a good clearance here. That's not his best at all. This will be a big opportunity here for Australia. They'll have a line out. And they're looking good in the line out. They're only more seems to be operating. So this is a very nice net result for Australia to have a line out. Schumann's doing a lot of hard work here at the breakdown. Right. A bit of a variation. Alatoa going down the short side. Dave Cherry was there. Andy Price has dove all over Tate McDermott. And he's turned around. Well, Hooper's absolutely fuming at the touch charge. But it looks like Andy Price might have timed that perfectly. Now Skuman picking up and going, creating a bit of angle, giving a little time for a scrum off to emerge from the bottom of the ruck. Very good intervention there from Andy Price. Now Ferguson. Valentini making a tackle there. And James Slipper now coming in from, I think, from the side of the call. And I think that's just frustration from Australia at the end of the day. You know, not getting much reward. And I think James Slipper's now gone and played the fly half. Playing the scrum half, rather. So Scotland, all of a sudden, 36 minutes, are actually hanging in there. I don't think they expected... well, I don't think we expected with the way that this match started. I thought Australia were looking pretty good. But so far, Scotland are just literally hanging in. And that's what you got to do, eh? That's all you got to do. You got to hang in there, keep yourself in the fight. The longer you can do that, get yourself to halftime with a lead, go out in the second half. Give yourself a chance. Always stay in the fight. And it's a bit of a messy lineup, but it does come to Hamish Watts, who pops to Addy Price. Tupolatu, nice acceleration there, getting away from a couple of players. Needs some support that does come. Jamie Ritchie carrying it up here. Scotland find themselves in the 10-meter line. Addy Price going to roll this back and play a bit of territory game here as the clock runs into the last 3 minutes of the half. Listed very high. Prices will be contestable. Jump on the moves afterwards. But really well done by Kellaway. Gets up and taps it back. Pass goes to nobody there. And Ikatar's done well to pick it up and get on the front foot. McDermott goes to right. Valentini gets a good take. Now Valentini has just hammered that ball forward. And it's going to roll too far here, but you don't want to... Well, it's come... There will be a goal line dropout. Ollie Smith choosing to just drop it dotted down. Valentini with a very forward kick. In terms of just like not much technique, just actually hammered it forward. Untouched with the goal on dropout. Well, obviously does not touch. So Kellaway bringing in Valentini. Last 1.5 minutes here. Slipper looking to try and play back McDermott, so running around with the referee. And Pierre Skuman once again, this time getting penalised. Now Jed Holloway having a go at Xander Ferguson. Another toe. Look to him go and grab his scrum cap. And if I'm Australia here, I'm kicking a goal. You've got a minute left. Get yourself ahead at half time. I mean, there's nothing into that. Jed Holloway has just gone over Xander Ferguson. To be honest, I don't think this is a bad net result for Scotland to take the 3. Scotland will go into half time. They've been hanging on. Australia have done most of the attacking, but Scotland have done very well just to hang on, create some big moments, a couple of very nice work at the breakdown. Australia's breakdown work's been very poor, it must be said. And that's probably what's allowed Scotland to really stay in the clash. But Scotland have looked very bright when they've had ball in hand, so they need to show a bit more. Now, Bernard Foley. Yep, doesn't miss that. And they'll go into half-time, 6 points to 5. A 1-point game over in Murrayfield. The Autumn Nations Cup Autumn Nations Series, rather, is firmly underway. Pretty decent half first up. We will be back in a few minutes. Go get your beverages and stuff like that, and I'll see you guys in a bit. And we are back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Scotland versus Australia. We do have kickoff, and Australia just the 1 point. The first Autumn Nations series match of the season so far has been quite a good one, actually. And Scotland just going behind for the first time just before half time. Australia were pretty good with ball in hand, but Scotland very good at the breakdowns, keeping them in the clash. Very nice try being scored by Ollie Smith, the only try in the match so far. And now Bernard Foley from the. Okay, we've got Taylor Tupers on the field, by the way, halfway out of town change. Good take out of the air there from Ollie Smith, the try scorer. Big half ahead. Been very impressed with Michael Hooper. Looks like he is very much playing some of his best rugby. Pierre Schoeman now early, and as I said, Michael Hooper making a tackle, forcing a knock on as well. He's just a different player. Australia also look very different when they play with him. And Michael Hooper, I mean, one of the best players in the world. So good to see him back. And credit to him. He said he wasn't in the best mindset. He went back. He sorted himself out. He obviously got a bit of help, I think, and did a bit of introspection. Got his head right, got himself into the right headspace, stayed fit, said, "Cool, I'm available if you want to select me." Apparently, worked very hard at training. Now he's back at the side, and he looks golden again. And maybe that's sort of a lesson to players who are struggling. Don't be afraid to step back. You've got a long career. You play across 10 to 15 years. You've got a long career. Don't be afraid to step back and say, you know what? These 2 months could ensure I play the next 2 years, for example. These 2 months, these 3 months, these 6 months could ensure I play the next 10 years. So very cool to see that, actually, that it's a very much success story so far in terms of being willing and open to stepping away from the game, saying, right, I'm not in the right headspace, get myself right, work on myself. We don't know what was happening in the background as well. And then come back and when you're in the right headspace and you're ready to give it all. And so far, he really has. But yeah, it is Australia. Scrum early on. Tania Tupou onto the field. And the scrum's gone straight down. So we will have a reset. Right, very much so the scrum. Very good go forward ball. Inside ball here from Sami back to Dermot. Oh, and Bernard Foley trying to throw the long pass. Has given away the bear. Nobody wants to touch onto the Blair King was kicked it ahead. Blair King all of a sudden, has he got the pace to go all the way? Is he going to pop up? It is going to pop up. Oh my living. Australia have just let him have that. That is absolutely bizarre. The ball went forward from Asami. No Australian player wanted to play it because they thought they'd be offside. So they all kind of sort of put their hands up. And Blair Kinghorn decides to kick it ahead. He's chased it. He's kicked it further ahead. It's popped up. He's grabbed it. He's gone over. And all of a sudden, Scotland are ahead. I mean, brilliant pace being shown by Blair Kinghorn. You can see he's sucking in oxygen there. But the long strides of the fly half, leaving the Australians in the wake. See, nobody wants to touch it because of the penalty. And Blair Kinghorn says, well, fine. But look at the pace of display from Kinghorn. I mean, Kellaway himself as well also can't get there. I mean, that's really impressive pace. Well, there we go. Scotland hit back first. They're back ahead after just 3 minutes. And talk about something. I mean, they were inside their own half. It was an Australia scrum. And all of a sudden, it's 12 points to 6. And did you miss it again? Yeah, but it's 12 points to 6. And Gregor Townsend not celebrating anything yet. Very stern look upon his face. But what a try from Blair Kinghorn. No, Nick White isn't starting, but Tate McDermott has been very good, actually. Go down the middle to Scott from the restart. Ollie Smith underneath it. Well taken in the air, so it's good to restart there from Scotland. Eddie Price wants a quick ball here. Goes to Matt Ferguson. Good tackle we made on him by Jay Slipper, the Australian captain. Ali Price now going to Xander Ferguson back on the angle. Now Ali Price more towards the right-hand side. The ball being on the box kick. Got a lot of space in the infield. Darcy Graham on the right-hand side. He does go pretty straight, just towards the right side. Darcy Graham, it's a head, but it's a good take by Tom Wright. And it's a penalty for Scotland for blocking. Well, that's a big moment. Call comes from the touch judge. Obstruction is the call. Going for the line here. Oh, Scotland really looking. I mean, look at that. Murrayfield was absolutely spectacular at night. It's not the best looking stadium during the day. It's a bit of a concrete jungle, but at night it's just lit up. It looks absolutely tremendous. Right, Dave Cherry going to Sam Skinner. It's a really good line. Sorry, Young. I mean, Skinner went off. Too young. It's a good line win there. Ali Price, though, now digging for the ball. It's well defended by Australia, but it is available for Scotland just inside the 22. Ali Price going flat for Xander Ferguson. Big hit on Michael Hooper there, but brought down. And a penalty for Australia. That's Tupou by the size of those thighs. Yeah, it is the big tight hit that does emerge with the turnover. Guys, I mean, it's a couple people that I don't want to run at me. And I think we won't Fenta Tanea Tupou are probably quite high on that list. Just no. No. Look at the size of him. When you think about how quick he is and how good his ball... No. No. I'm alright, actually. I've got better things to do than to be absolutely torn apart by Tanea Tupou. Good line out there. Michael Hooper has been filling in his scrum up a lot there from the line out. Straight back to take McDermott, who lifts it high in the air. And the ball's gone up from Darcy Graham. I think he managed to regather. So Ali Price comes away with it. No knock-on advantage, but a lot of pressure being applied by Michael Hooper. That's good work by Glenn Young. And Grant Gilchrist bounces off one, but needs a bit of support here. Yeah, penalty advantage for Scotland. Really good work there by the two second rowers. And there's a word to Luke Pearce. As a result, he said, right, well, if you want to have a word, then you go back to 10 meters. And it's now onto the halfway line, which will give Blair Kinghorn the opportunity to put themselves into the 22. I reckon Scotland score another try. And all of a sudden, I think they could be looking pretty confident here. That is a terrific kick. That is on the 5 meters from Blair Kinghorn. That is absolutely pinpoint. I think that's a fair call. They go to Gilchrist. It's a good line out from Scotland. Big more needed chair, but it's a big shove coming from Australia. And they're going very lateral. But now Scotland are broken apart. Is the ball available? And it's turnover ball. I think it's Cameron Neville who's fallen, but legally in the middle of the maul, doesn't have to roll away. And it's turnover ball. Another chance goes begging for Scotland, who have really turned up for the second half, but still haven't really managed to make a count apart from that opportune moment from Kinghorn. They've been down in the 22 twice now in the last couple of minutes, haven't managed to find any points. So it remains of 6 minutes. It has only been 9 minutes of the second half, so still half an hour to go in the opening clash of the Autumn Nations Series. Next weekend, obviously, the big boys The likes of New Zealand, Ireland, France, and South Africa, the top 4 in the world, and England all start to come back. So 6 versus 9 at the moment. Australia could climb up to 6 if they do win this game. If they don't win this game, I think Dave Rennie could be under some serious pressure. Big scrum came from Australia and a penalty from them. That's a lot of scrum dominance all of a sudden. I think Tino Tupou is making a big impact here so far in the second half. Xander Ferguson can't believe he's been penalised. I don't think I've ever seen a prop just like take an L and say, "Yeah, I got taken apart there." There's always somebody else's fault. There's always a bad call from the referee. Not the best touchline clearance there from Foley, but making sure. We'll go over the top there to Australia. Got straight to the hands of Dave Cherry. It's a turnover ball for Scotland. Ali Price going to Gilchrist. Gilchrist going to Kinghorn. Long pass out. Tuvaluta. Bennett. Smith comes back inside on that left foot of his, which was used very effective in the first half. He's being dragged, but he's got his knees. He's got to release here, ref. And either taking along beyond the ball, referee. I'm pretty sure it's a penalty there. Yeah, I was about to say. I mean, take your pick. Didn't release. And Luke Pierce is going to have a word here with Jay Slip. I think there's a couple of words being thrown towards Luke Pierce's. Yeah, offside is the call eventually. I think there's quite a couple of penalties you could have blown there. I think the fact that they didn't release him after they were dragging him on his knees towards the touchline. They then took a few players beyond the ball. But Scotland still going for the line. Right, Cherry goes to Gilchrist. Still going for that more. That's got straight down once again. The question is, will they be able to get this ball out? I think they will. It is available to Ali Price. Ali Price goes to Tuipulotu. With his head down. Now Ali Price trying to go to his left. And it's penalty by Bernard Foley. And this is kickable. So this is decision time now for Scotland. Right, big decision here. I personally, I don't see why you wouldn't take the points here. You've been down here in the 22. You haven't been able to, getting very little reward. Yeah, they are. Here comes kicking T. Take the 3 points. Get yourself up to 15 points to 6. Get yourself away from a converted try, away from giving away the lead. Right, Kinghorn. He missed a pretty straightforward one earlier, to be honest. But this should be a formality. And is straight through the middle there. Scotland extend their lead to 15 points to 6. It is a 9-point game with 27 minutes left in the match. And Scotland have been very much worth their medal in the second half here. Started really well. Oh, it might be an early night tonight, except I've got so much blooming work to do. Denzel, what's your thoughts on Japan All Blacks game this morning? I actually didn't manage to watch it. I couldn't. I was having issues with my internet, and so Stan Sport wasn't really happening. So I need to go back and watch it properly. I actually might do a reaction video on my personal channel to it because I've seen nothing from it except for the Brody Retallick red card, which was definitely a red card. So yeah, actually, I mean, I need to go back and watch it. It sounds like a really cool game. So I will try and make time tomorrow evening to go give it a watch. I don't want to comment on something that I haven't watched. But good on Japan. Oh, it's not knock on. That's a good take then by Bernard Foley if it was. It wasn't a pretty poor pass from Andrew Kellaway. Straight back in possession up towards the half line. 2 posts first carry of the day. Big carry as well. Nice counter back coming here from Scotland. Dave Cherry over the ball. No, kick over the top. Well read by Ollie Smith. Long ball out to Hamish Watson. Almost a bit of a fumble. He's got Duan van der Merwe, who's been a bit of a spectator of this game so far. Chipolata looking to try cut in the edge. Gets away from a couple. Well brought down by James Slipper in the end. And he passed to Skuman. Skuman saw a bit of a gap, but running into Valentine. Michael Hooper was over that ball quickly. But they did well to get him off. Then now Duan van der Merwe chasing long here. Gets up and gets the ball as well. Duan van der Merwe is almost away. Duan van der Merwe does he have the pace? There comes Bernard Foley. That's a good tackle from Bernard Foley. Oh, Gilchrist has knocked it forward. Tate McDermott's down in the heap, by the way. I think he's been absolutely taken. I think he's been smoked in that clean out. We might have to have a relook at this. This could very much be head-on-head contact. Just saying that Duan van der Merwe has barely been involved. Great intervention there. Gets away from as well. Comes inside. Bernard Foley just rides the tackle. Gilchrist, if he holds on to that, I think he's over. Great turn. I mean, what a take from Duan van der Merwe. Now, I think they almost need to have a look at this cleanup, by the way. Where does this hit take McDermott? I think you just see a sidearm. It does almost look like there's contact to him, but okay, I'll go have an official review. It looked pretty bad in real time. Maybe we have to see this from a different angle. I'm trying to see where the initial contact is. Oh, goodness me. I'm interested. I think you could be in trouble here, you know? Listen, this is if this could be red card material because he's over the ball. Glenn Young, it looks like this was direct shoulder to head contact. Yeah, listen, I think he could be in trouble here, you know. I think that's caught him down to 14. I think Glenn Young has come on. I mean, it's here, direct contact to the head. So it's bicep connection. The bicep might be saving him. No, this is interesting to me because, for example, if it's a swinging arm, it's a red card. So because it's a bicep, so because it's in that section, he's getting a yellow. Because it was a swinging arm, it'll be a red card. If it was a shoulder, it's a red card. But because it's a bicep, because he gets it in that sort of section, literally there, he's gonna just get away with the yellow. Yeah, I mean, by the letter of the law, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was a red. I wouldn't have been. I don't think you could have complained if it was a red. It didn't look great in real time. It came flying in there, and Tate McDermott reeled right back. And I think is he still on the field there, Tate McDermott? Yeah, he's still. I think a good little nuggety scrub off. Yeah, I'm surprised not a red there. It looked pretty bad. But I suppose your bicep is supposedly, I wouldn't say it's free game, but I suppose apparently it's mitigation. And looks like McDermott is going off. So I think Nick White will be gracing our appearance. There he is with his moustache, the number one most hated man in South Africa. Yeah, I don't know how he's not gotten a red for that, to be honest. Penalty advantage there for Australia from that. Trying to work out if it's raining. Right, Bernard Foley, Australia with the tails up here now at the back of the yellow card, going to the line. Let's get down to business. Falafel Inga coming onto the park. He'll replace David Parecki. How long is it going to take to do this line out? Frost goes up, Frost goes down. Valentini, haven't seen too much of him this half. Very industrious ball carrier now, Nick White. Go to Jeff Slipper. Surprised Jeff Slipper's still on. He doesn't often play up to 60 minutes. I think it'll be a while before we don't see him being replaced. A couple of numbers here. They're only through the hands yet. Now Neville carrying it up strongly, but made well in the tackle by Pierre Schoeman. Not too many replacements for Scotland so far. Just the one he's in the bin at the moment, actually. Pierre Schoeman has picked up Bernard Foley, and James Slipper's gone down. I think Pierre Schoeman have taken him out the ball, you know. Tupo with the hands. Yeah, I tackled the ball as well. I thought it's from Pierre Schoeman. Now Pierre Schoeman on James Slipper, so that's pretty stupid on Pierre Schoeman. Well, doing for the move, it's done brilliantly to get back and defend that kicking behind, but it is going to be a penalty anyway. Penalty advantage there. Now Dempsey, who has played for Australia, will be coming on for Scotland yet. Right, so Dempsey is on against his former nation as a Scottish grandfather. That's how he's qualified for Scotland. Dave Rooney cast him aside. Said he wasn't physical enough for international rugby. Well, let's find out if he is. Wouldn't be the first time somebody's been told that and come on. And that's a huge more defence here for Scotland. Ball comes up, goes to Frost. Frost sells a wild dummy. And nobody was buying it, unfortunately, for him. Now McWhite going to Falafainga. Foley. Foley goes himself. Good tackle by Tupolotu. Tupo. Brought down well by Bennett. This is good from Australia, though. Good hands. Hunter Basami. And Slipper is slipped through. Australia over the first time in the match. It was coming, wasn't it? It was coming. It was looking really good. A couple of nice offloads there, a couple of good carries. And they had the numbers. And the captain, I think, wouldn't be surprised. This is his last contribution. But you can see the Scottish defence, they are down to 14 men, but a little bit in tatters there. Some good offloads there. Neville, I mean, both locks involved there, and then he just puts his head down, does Slipper, and Tupolotu, unfortunately, not stopping a loose head prop from that distance. Let alone, yeah, I mean, you can see he just bounces off James Slipper. So a big kick this actually from Bernard Foley. If he slots, there's a penalty enough for Australia to win, and it shouldn't be too difficult either. Yep, straight to the middle. Right, 15 points to 13. Game on, a 2-point game with 18 minutes to go. James Slipper's still in the park here, by the way. I'm very surprised about that. We have seen a couple of replacements. Right, Ned handing it onto the park. Jack Dempsey obviously on. Glenn Young's in the bin, but it looks like I think it was Jamie Batty who's on for Scotland. I think I might have seen Viepi now as well. Haven't seen any backline replacements just yet. Still down to 14 minutes. Got another 3 minutes left for Glenn Young in the bin. Yep, and that's George Turner onto the park. As well as VPNL. Looking behind to Darcy Graham. Right, Blake Horn assessing his options. Not too much on. Decided to go to the right boot. Oh, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. He's got straight through the hands of Tom Banks, and he's earned himself a line out inside Australia 22. Blair Kinghorn pulling the strings here. Seen a bit of space. Tom Banks is retreating. Puts his hands out. I mean, it's pretty poor by Banks, it must be said. Problem is, if he had left it, it would have been I think it would have been 22 anyway. So he had no option but to go for it and just straight through his hands. So now it'll be a Scotland line out in a very good position. They haven't really been able to capitalize so far from this sort of position, but maybe finding a penalty, kicking it over. You go to Jamie Rich at the front of the line out, close captain. Now it's pretty flat. Tupolotu leaves it. Mark Bennett. Been quite a quiet game so far as Bennett. Ali Price now going to Jamie Batty. The replacement's getting involved here. Another one, George Turner. Kinghorn goes on the inside to Darcy Graham. Darcy Graham runs a couple of forwards and comes short. Managed to watch the first receiver, Blair Kinghorn. Long pass out the back to Jamie Ritchie. Doesn't go to hand. It would have been interesting. It would have been very, very interesting. If Jamie Ritchie had held on to that, I think it was Ritchie versus Banks. And to be honest, I would have backed Ritchie in that fight. I would have backed him to get over in that position. It's the right idea from Kinghorn. Just straight over the top from Ritchie. Maybe should have been a little bit further across. He finds his man. Australia looking to use the rolling maul. They've used it very effectively throughout the day, actually. It's also been a bit of a penalty machine for them. He comes down there. Nick White does have to use it. Still inside the 22, so he can find touch, but chooses not to. He goes down the throat of Darcy Graham. All right, what has he got? He's tackled by Nick White, and Valentini's trying to rip it, but his teammates drive him forward a few, so Scotland find themselves inside Australian territory. We go to the short side to George Turner, who throws a pretty... Sorry, it's VP Null. Penalty advantage to Scotland. Now Kinghorn, not too much on. Dabs to the head. And the fumble comes from Kellaway. And if he had fumbled that even more, Dylan van der Merwe was lurking. So 15 minutes to go. Right, check comes the debut for Damien Hoyland. Sorry, it's actually Australia 23 is coming on. Jock Campbell's coming on. Big moment for him. He found touch. It does find touch. Pretty poor touch find in the end. So Campbell's on for Banks at fly half. I'm going to full back. James Slipper has also made way, which means that Matt Gibbon is on the park. You go to the front of the line to Scotland. It's a fumble from Grant Gilchrist. So it's Australia ball. Pretty poor that from Scotland. Red Foley kicking it deep down the park. Darcy Graham goes inside. To Ollie Smith. Oh, hard. Ollie Smith, what can he do? Watch out for that left. Yeah, that left step once again coming in handy. And a penalty to Australia. Also worth noting that George Horn is on for Ali Price. I think this game's going to come down to the wire, you know. Scotland have had a lot of opportunities to try and extend their lead, but just haven't really been able to take them. And they're keeping Australia in the game. Australia are one penalty away from being in the lead here. Oh, my living. I mean, he didn't find touch. Ollie Smith and Dylan van der Merwe, who were so busy, like, standing inside a touch. They've let it bounce and gone out. Van der Merwe leaving it for Ollie Smith. Ollie Smith leaving it for Dylan van der Merwe. And if they had managed to communicate better, the ball actually bounced out. So they could have taken that. They go to Jed Holloway to Australia. The rolling maul has been very effective, although this time it looks a much better set defensively for Scotland. Flafainga is controlling things at the back, but so far not too much movement. Yes, it comes a bit of a shove. You're going to have to use it here, Australia. Knock on there from Blake Kinghorn. Penalty offside, though, is now the course. They'll go straight back to the corner. Scotland discipline could be the undoing here. Under a lot of pressure. Can't really afford this. Penalty by Scotland. See, Australia taking the points here, and this could be them in the lead. Hamish Watson, the man penalised being offside there. But they kicked this from Bernard Foley. It's not too difficult, and he's been so good off the tee. I don't think I have any issues here. And this will be Australia going into the lead for the first time this match. Or is it actually? No, I think they got the first penalty. I think they were actually leading at the beginning. They were actually, now thinking about it. Were they? Long time ago. All right, big kick this from Bernard Foley to put Australia in the lead with 10 minutes left to go. That's looking good. Sails straight through the poles. Australia take the lead. Scotland behind with 10 minutes to go. Darcy Graham going in for the... And it's a bit of a hash. Scotland have one possession back from the kickoff. Mark Bennett coming away with it. So turnover ball here. A penalty from Australia. And all of a sudden, Scotland could be back ahead. Kinghorn has a really bad option to Ollie Smith. But the only person who was actually marked. Horn. Kinghorn. Tupolatu going pretty direct. I'm not sure there's a release there. This is going to be a penalty for Australia, but I don't think he was released. Turnover is illegal, apparently. The Wallabies have won it back. Now Foley kicks it deep. Ollie Smith and Darcy Graham, the men back. Yeah, I mean, has that even gone out? It hasn't gone out, so Banks got it. Steps away from one. Stepping away from VPN now. Stepping away from a tight is probably one of the easier things to do in rugby. A bit of a half moon there from Grant Gilchrist. Likewise, it's very good continuity from Australia. They're playing in the right areas as well. Scotland needs to turn the ball over. VPN now trying to get over that ball. Has to release the ball after losing his feet and does. Good pick up off the ground there from Kellaway. Kellaway getting away from one. Still. Nick White. Bit of an overlap here, but Pasami goes himself. Sits down, Blake Kinghorn. It's not the first time he's missed tackles. Blake Kinghorn's defense needs to improve a little bit. Nick White's seeing a bit of space behind. Darcy Graham is retreating. Darcy Graham running across away from a couple of defenders. Almost caught on the ball. Finds a bit of support. VPN now. Scotland looking to run out their 22, but not too many options here. Slipper almost over the ball there. Sorry, not Slipper. Matt Gibbon, I think it was. Hamish Watson now. Scotland really don't want to try and kick this ball. And they're going to have to now. Nope. Turning now. Scotland now it looks like George Horn's going to have to go to the boot. Just nothing on. It's not managed by any distance. In blast downfield, no one was chasing, so Bernard Foley has had a free take. Tupo. And this is really good from Australia. All possession. Oh, and it's knocked on, as I said there. Turnover ball. And we'll go back for the scrum. I haven't had a scrum in ages. Couple of replacements here. No, Lesio's on. He's on for Bernard Foley. Right, and Gleeson on. Very highly rated as this youngster. Right, so 6 minutes left. Is the Scotland scrum? They've got a long way to go, though. Long way to go. Still 6 minutes, though, so still plenty of time. But got to get themselves into the right area of the field. They're sitting now literally halfway between the 10-meter and the 22, so it's still very deep inside their half. You can see on the screen how deep they are. The big scrum coming from Australia. There's a penalty for Scotland, so that'll help. That will help things. Blair King will be able to kick themselves into Australian territory. Very important kick this from for Blair Kinghorn. Has to find touch. It has to be a good touch finder, but he has to find touch. Can't get too greedy here. Yeah, he's just playing it safe. Just playing it safe. Finds touch on the halfway line. And they've lost it. They've lost it. But thankfully for them, it's gone straight down to Alessio, who's been balanced to touch. I'm not sure what he's doing there. You got Nick White standing at fly half. So it's gone straight down. He's been tackling touch. So I think it'll be a knock on. I don't know whose ball it actually is. Or was in the, yeah, so it is a Scottish line out. I was about to say they looked like they were about to get ready for a scrum, but it is a line out. Turner, it's a really good line out from Scotland. Horn going to Kinghorn. Tupolatu, Kinghorn. It's a very good, it's a nice move, but they haven't actually found too much. And Nick White, a bit of dark arts, they're slowing things down. Then they're going to the boot and not much to the displeasure of the crowd. Smith goes back to Kinghorn. Need to find something on here. Kinghorn is prancing around. And it's a deliberate knock on, is it? Penalty, so knock on advantage. I'll go back for the scrum. I think Scottish players will be thinking that's intentional. Yeah, I think this is almost in territory a penalty for deliberate knockdown. Because, I mean, it has to be a genuine attempt, doesn't it? And as soon as it's one hand, yeah, he's never catching that, Oaks. Has to be a penalty. That has to be a penalty. He's never catching that. No, he's never catching that. That's a yellow card. Well, not a yellow card, penalty. It was inside Australia territory, could very well be a yellow card. That's got to be a penalty, though. So another chance for Scotland. They'll be able to kick themselves into Australian territory. I think they looked to see if it was yellow card territory in terms of who was ahead if they managed to get through there. It's a yellow card as well, by the way. I think they're looking at a penalty try here. I mean, they're inside their own half. Yeah, I don't think he's ever catching that ball. Oh, he's come back on. Not a yellow card. That's quite a big moment, actually, the fact that he's cancelled that yellow card, because No, Scotland. All they need is a penalty, eh? All they need is a penalty. The problem is Blair King's goal kicking has not exactly been Bernard Foley's. They finally managed to see a line of Tupolatu now. It's a very strong carry from him. And he's never released a penalty as well. You wonder if that could be the game. If they do take the points there. If we roll the dice though, a try seals it, so does the penalty, but it's not in the best bit. That's a forward pass. Yeah. Right, what do Scotland do? What do Scotland do? Do they back themselves? Do they go to the corner? Once again, they've had no success there. Do they take the 3? They've got taken the call the shot. Well, Blake Kinghorn, I haven't been particularly impressed. I wasn't impressed with his first kick. He has kicked fine since then. Big moment here. Big moment. Because you know that Finn Russell's... Right, this is a big moment. This is a big moment. Also, he's got about 2 minutes to take this, so we'll just have a restart. So if this sails over, Scotland will win this. If he misses it, Australia will win this. Yeesh, Shotgun not being the guy that has to kick this. Eh? But to be fair, your career is made for these moments. This is what you play the game to do. It's a fly half, for example. You cannot think of anything better. It's 46 meters. Predicted kick success is 72%. Historical success rate for all kickers is 73%. So more people than not do get this. It's not the hardest kick. This is like Damian Williams' territory against Wales, where you kind of expect to get it. A good goal kicker would get it. The question is, does he have the mettle? Does he have the nerve? As he runs in, and he's missed it. I said I don't back it. You see, I just don't think. Yeah, it's not a good kick either. So this is the issue that South Africa have, because you should be putting that over. So the big thing now is Australia can't kick it out. They cannot kick it directly out. It is a goal line dropout. Or 22 for sorry, it's 22, but they can't kick it out. Well, he basically grubbered it out. Final score: Australia 16, Scotland 15. Blair Kinghorn from 0 to 0 misses in the final minutes, and Australia get their tour off to a victory. People, thank you very much for the back-to-back watch-alongs. Appreciate it. It's almost a 8:30 here, so it's been a long evening. Thank you for staying down here. New Zealand get their campaign off to a start, and so do Australia. Full-time, 15-16 from Murrayfield. Scotland will be disappointed. They should have won that match. Could have won that match. Didn't win the match. Blair Kinghorn, his hands are on his head. He can't believe it. We can't believe it, but you're going to have to believe it. Please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel on the way out. And I'll chat to you guys all very soon.